it's like, wow, here comes like, player one is here. Like what I did there? Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So just at the end of the rhythm. Okay. The thing is, do you play any sports? Tennis? Football? Anything? Anything where you punch a thing or kick a thing or whack a thing? Hiking. Okay. Well, before we get into that, my dad's not hiking, so I think it's very healthy.
That's good.
High altitude, heart pumping. So the thing about violin and why I asked you about tennis or soccer or football, anything where you play, just protect your hands, but is that when you have to, the concept of follow through. You understand? Like tennis players or any, like when they hit a ball, they don't just like, oh, I hit it and then that's it, I can stop. Or baseball, It's like they hit it and they keep going through. So the same thing is for violin, or when you're punching. You don't just stop when you punch. You always punch through, right? And then you start from your leg and you go through. Like the hip rotates and goes like that. So the same thing, golf, tennis, anything. It's always done with the full body. And the same for violin, actually. That creates much bigger than like that, right? You're stopping. So follow through. Like that. It's not just look stylish. Trust me. It creates that effect, that sound. It's not just an effect, it creates the sound. It added like a little bit. You have to add like 10%. It's like a baby. Like, think about your energy coming from the ground. Do you feel like the spring? You know how some people when they play they even do this? They like bend down on their knees. You have noticed like some players and they're like, I think it's a bit much, but certainly like to feel your whole body, right? And then feel when you're playing, your bow should just be like it's being pushed by your body, right? It's not like this. There's a part of it that goes like this from the back, and then it goes up bow. It's like a swing. Like imagine if your arm was more floppy, and your hand was the only thing that was steady. Then it's like that. Down bow is like a pull. Up bow is like a swish thing. Then very powerful, right? Then you're combining with the left hand, like the arm. It's just an anchor that then gets you to be able to create any type of sound that you want. Right? Yes, exactly. Always go over when you're trying something new. Oh, good. And now quick, fast at the end. Yeah. Yes. Okay, did you hear the difference? Yes. You heard the difference a little bit, right? So, yeah, I heard the difference a little bit too. So do more of that, okay? And then continue. Yeah. Is, okay, two things. What are you thinking of here? What is the character? Like a choir. Oh. Like more like like that? For sure. I mean, many things were influenced by, like, the choir, for sure. But then now, in this interpretation, how do you want to play it? What is the character? Well, or you can sing, or like you can describe it. Is it heroic, or is it like peaceful? Is it heroic? Okay, so let's start with heroic. Like the first part. Let's start with the first part. Like something like that, right? Singing and heroic. Oh, something that'll help. I think you're good with. But then here, needs to connect. Right? So that you can take the next step. You always like stop down, da-ding, da-ding, ding, ding. So it doesn't connect. You'll have to make a mini crescendo at the end of the note. Oh, okay. Okay, and then you have to think, like that helps you connect, but then you did the same thing the second time. So that's why I don't like to say, oh, it's like a mini crescendo. So things like that can only be used sparingly. Okay? So notice how I'm like, if I'm going, I'm getting sentimental here, then I would like whack it out, because I'm a hero, right? I don't get too sentimental, like it's the character. Then you think back to, oh, what is the character? Right, it's a hero. Like the hero's like, but I'm a hero. You know? It's like, that is like the attitude of a yes, it's glory shouting upon me. And I love the people too. Like you have to strut is the character, right? Okay. How much effort do you put in? Out of 100. Yeah, but how much? Don't be afraid. You sound afraid. So how much? 70%? Yeah, so give me the remainder. Don't be afraid. When we reach plateaus, when we reach new peaks, always like think of it as a new base. And how are you going to maintain the base? It's like, hiking this ever tall mountain. You establish a base camp. That's your new base. Okay? okay? Don't hold yourself back. Okay? Always, we tend to hold ourselves back because we think, oh, I should do, this is, I'm not allowed, I'm not there yet. Why? Right? You'll never be there if you always think like that. So, don't hold yourself back. It's okay. Like, people who always say, like, you should know your place and you shouldn't play like that. They're absolute losers. Don't listen to them. I think always keep in mind what is written on the page, but then, like, try. You shouldn't be punished for trying, right? And that's something that, I want all of us to keep in mind as we take back. You should always go with a full heart, 100%. Because, that's just what music is for. Yeah, don't hold back. Don't do 70. All right, thank you, Clayton. So yeah, I think that's an interesting thought that we arrived to. Why do we always get punished for trying? I think I went through this myself as a student. Sometimes teachers would be like, hey, that's not the style of, and I think it's easy to misinterpret that into, oh, I feel bad now. I did something wrong. It's hard to take feedback. It's also incredibly hard to give feedback. So there's always this balance to be had. How do you move forward despite the critical feedback that you receive? Yeah. And I think that the way that I would share with everyone to advise is to just always think about how much fun this is. To not take it too seriously. I know that sounds, and it will drive certain people a little crazy, and they'll you might get be put down a little bit, like for you should have, it's always like, but enthusiasm, I think, that's passion. When you're older, that becomes passion. Yeah. When you're younger, you're over enthusiastic. But when you're older, it becomes passion and drive. And suddenly we all have to find that again when it's been tempered out. That's something also to think about for parents and for young ones. But I think we're up to our final one. And so let's give a warm welcome.